Okay, there's a couple of stories that I want to go through. First story, straight up, I'm going to apologize. I have to show you a picture. It's a bit confronting, this picture, but as soon as you open the article, unfortunately, this picture comes up. I don't know why they put something like this right at the start of the article. Mate, it's not a pretty picture, that's at all. It's a little confronting, so I do apologize right now, but I have to go through these two stories. So this is the first one.
Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Okay, so the first story, zero firearms bans issued under landmark Queensland gun laws. Again, I'm very sorry for this photo, this picture, but this is what the Courier Mail put up with. So, you know, if you don't want to have a look at this shocking photo, turn away now. There it is. Shane Pryor, the face of Shane Pryor. I don't know why they put that up there. Anyway, Queensland police have not handed out a single firearm prohibition order 5 months after legislation barring high risk individuals from accessing guns came into effect, with officers claiming the laws are unworkable. The landmark laws passed by the former Labor government mid 2024 and commencing in August 2025 were set to improve public safety by barring individuals like high risk domestic violence offenders, those involved in organised crime, and terrorists. They were also designed to help reduce the number of illegal firearms in the community and give police this is the important section, the important part in my mind. Okay, with all this legislation, there's always these extra powers that come up. We just have to bring these laws in. We have to make it safer. Remember, it's for your safety, for your protection. That's what it's all about. Oh, and we're going to add this in too. It also gives police powers to search the homes or cars of someone with an order for illicit weapons at random without a search warrant. Without a search warrant. Because the police, or let's put it this way, the government just wants to intrude on our privacy. So anything that can give them further powers, so give them further excuses to search people's property without search warrants, without something else, without some other kind of barrier, they will take it. They'll bring in these laws on the side, but it's all for your safety, for your protection. Okay, so the Courier Mail can reveal police have yet to issue an FPO since the laws commenced. Police sources said there were just one officer in the unit responsible for implementing the legislation, who was also still working in their substantive role. Well, that sounds logical, doesn't it? They said officers supported the scheme, but enforcing the legislation was unworkable and overly onerous compared to other states like New South Wales and Victoria. The Courier Mail also understands officers haven't been given any training on the scheme. Queensland Police Union President Shane Pryor, that was his face right there. Shane Pryor. What's he got to say about all this? He's called for an urgent review of the legislation. That's what he always does. The Queensland Police Union supports the application of firearm protection orders as another valuable tool in ensuring the safest possible workplace for officers operating in an increasingly violent and unpredictable environment. He said the fact that zero orders have been issued in Queensland while hundreds have been activated by police in other Australian states suggests a systemic failure that leaves our front line unnecessarily exposed. Inaction reeks of bureaucratic inertia, lack of training, and poor resourcing. He said police will not accept paper tiger laws. The QPU, so the union, calls for an urgent review to eliminate the bottleneck that is stifling the use of this law, he said. This is an interesting line. If there's a senior officer inhibiting its use, then the police commissioner needs to take decisive action. So just going from that line, it would seem that there maybe something else going on in the background. Maybe there's another senior officer who's inhibiting the use of this law. Otherwise, why would you say something like this if it wasn't actually happening? It's a little strange, I think. Queensland was one of the last states to introduce the scheme, and the lack of issued FPOs compared to New South Wales, handing out 124 FPOs in the first month of legislation, in Victoria handing out 560 FPOs in the first year. Wow. Queensland data up until 20th. Can I talk properly? Come on, Jay. Queensland data up until September the 30th last year showed there had been 395 guns stolen, with 65 of those found. I think I've said this before when I was in generals. When I was in generals, every week you'd get a notice, such and such place that had been a robbery, there'd been guns taken out of the gun safe. It's like just a weekly occurrence. This amount of guns taken. There are besides the guns that are stolen, there are so many guns brought into the country as well. And then you have these laws which are just focused on people. And it's not that I'm necessarily against these laws, but they're all focused on people who are trying to get guns legally, and it just encroaches on people who are trying to do the right thing, in my opinion. It's just people who are trying to do the right thing, go about things the right way. They're the ones who are always punished without dealing with the real problem. So, opposition police spokesman Glenn Butcher said it was disappointing that there had not been a single FPO issued under the scheme. We make no apologies for wanting to keep guns away from bikies, terrorists, and high risk domestic violence thugs, he said. Oh, tough words. We stand ready to work with the government to strengthen gun control, as recommended by the Queensland coroner. It comes as the state government continues to review and identify potential changes to Queensland gun laws in the wake of the Bondi massacre. Because, as we all know, it's the gun laws. It's the gun laws that caused all those issues. It's the guns. So forget about the fact that those terrorists, the people that follow a certain religious ideology, I refer to it as a religious ideology. In my opinion, it's actually more of a political ideology with some religious overtones. That's what it is. It is a political and lifestyle system. That's what it is. It will rule your whole life from politics all the way through. Everything in your life is ruled by this ideology. And the people that follow this ideology had also made bombs. But all the governments are doing is focusing on weapons, and people who want to own guns legally. That's all they're focused on. And no one is addressing the elephant in the room. No one is addressing the people who would come and follow the hatred in the ideology. And look, not everyone who follows this political religious system hates. Not everyone who follows this belief system wants to kill these people, wants to kill other people. Okay, there are I've met a lot of very nice, warm, loving people in that group. But the fact is, the government let a lot of people into the country and didn't do proper background checks, didn't keep an eye on what their true beliefs are. Let people in from, let's say, Gaza, for instance, and didn't bother checking about, hey, maybe there's an issue. We won't bother doing proper background checks, but, we'll go and meet them at the gate and shake everyone's hand and say, welcome, welcome. We've allowed this problem to come in, and now all the government is just ignoring the bigger issue, and they're just focusing on clamping down on your everyday citizen who would like to have a gun. Whatever. I don't have a gun. I will probably never buy a gun. It doesn't interest me. I've fired lots of guns obviously before. It doesn't particularly interest me that much anymore. Um, but they're ignoring the real issue and just trying to it, as I said in previous podcasts, they use the crisis to clamp down to take away freedoms to they use the crisis to take away the freedoms of everyday people. It just continues to encroach on everyone else's freedoms, but they ignore the actual issues going on. But hey, that's what our government does. And then they always package it in, well, this is for your peace, for your safety. We're just trying to protect you, the everyday citizen. That's why we need to take away your freedoms and treat you all like idiots. But anyway, Shane Pryor there having his little thing, his little say about all that. I think there must be a lot more to it, and that's why he's referencing some other mysterious senior officer who seems to be inhibiting this piece of legislation being actually utilized within the QPS. That's what it seems like. Anyway, the second story I wanted to get onto this. Okay. The second story that I wanted to get onto in Queensland police news, police officer charged, road policing and regional support command. When I first read the story, because it's like a 59-year-old male sergeant, and I'd read that he was charged with drink driving. I first read it, I thought, oh man, unlucky break. You poor fella. You've made a stupid decision. You've got 1 year to go before your forced retirement in QPS, and you've gone and made this and, put a right smudge against your name doing something really stupid that you should have known better. And then I read further and I realized he was from road policing, so he was a traffic police officer, and then all my pity went out the door. I was just like, whatever. So a 59-year-old sergeant from the Road Policing and Regional Support Command has been served with a notice to appear in relation to alleged drink driving. Really? Seriously? This lad's been in the job for a long time. Should know better. And he would have charged, mate, you probably wouldn't. If he's worked in road policing for any serious amount of time, he would have charged countless amounts of people with drink driving. And then he's gone and done something like this. This is stupidity. I'm sorry. This is just absolutely reckless. The member has been charged with driving whilst over the general alcohol limit, allegedly committed while off duty. The officer has been stood down from QPS and is expected to appear in the Cleveland Magistrates Court on 12th of January. So when was that? That was yesterday. In keeping with our commitment to low standards of behaviour, transparency and accountability, we have undertaken to inform the public when a member of the service faces serious allegations of misconduct and just absolute silly behaviour. Seriously, road policing command, drink driving. That is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. Someone with your experience, someone with this fella's experience, and the fact that he works within road policing command and, pulling people up for their driving behavior, charging people with drink driving, it's just bread and butter for those guys. And then he goes and makes exactly the same careless error. Absolutely ridiculous. It'll be interesting to see what actually comes of that. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there as well. Listen, let me know what you think about these gun laws here in Queensland. Again, is this just used, to enforce more control upon everyday citizens? Is that what you think? Obviously, I think they're using the crisis just to bring down more laws, just to enforce more control upon everyday citizens. And I don't think it's really warranted, and I think they're actually ignoring the real causes, the actual issues that we have in our society. They're ignoring all that, and politicians are ignoring their own behavior, the things that they've done over the last couple of years, which have actually fanned the flames of hatred within our own nation. Politicians, maybe not the current Liberal government here in Queensland, but governments, politicians in Australia have actually fanned the flames. They've actually helped the hatred burn within Australia. So a lot of them need to take a good hard look at themselves and maybe bring in some legislation which puts the kibosh on some of their behaviour. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening.
Just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's going